All right, folks, in this video, I want to talk about XRP supply versus demand and the impact that this dynamic is having on the price. The price that is at 50 cents, way lower than most of us would like to see it, right? I'm just stating the obvious, and I know that many people are frustrated with this little XRP asset, right? But in this video, I want to talk about it because we overthink this, we overcomplicate it, we want to come up with some great grand conspiracy about why price is being suppressed. It is very simple, though. When you do look at the supply versus demand of XRP, that is what is equating to today's market price that we are seeing. Now, what we can't see, the unseen, most definitely will eventually have an impact on price. And the unseen, or the stuff that we try to catch little glimpses of and decode and break down, if we're even halfway right about that stuff, the unseen, the crazy conspiracy stuff, well, I think that we have a much higher XRP. But for the meantime, we have the data that's right in front of us. Let's analyze that. Let's break it down and let's take a look. Now, speaking of supply and demand, I wanted to just share this one data point for you guys on our economy to summarize where we're at. And maybe this is the soft landing that they were talking about, as in you're going to lose your job and you can go sit on the couch if you'd like. And I'm talking about the jobs numbers, folks. We just got a terrible jobs report yesterday. And when we summarize what's taken place over the last year, it is perfectly laid out here in this post from Zero Hedge. In the past year, 1.2 million full-time jobs have been lost, replaced by 1.5 million part-time jobs. And they tout this as a strong economy, as a soft landing. Like I said, I hope your couch is nice and comfy. Or at least you'll have a little bit more time because you're only going to be working part-time versus full-time. But the problem is, and we know how this is, I'm making a joke of this is no joke, is that you're having to go get 2 and 3 jobs to make up for the one job that you lost. And they're turning around and trying to tell America, well, you should be happy, warm and fuzzy inside and cheerleading us and our strong economy because you should, I guess, still be thankful that at least you have a part-time job. Now, what's interesting is if you look at the relation, I'm not going to get into it here or show you the data point of native-born workers versus foreign-born workers and who's getting the large share of the jobs. It's been pretty incredible to watch that take place as well. We finally got the unemployment rate back above 4%, and this follows after many central banks, well, a few central banks have already started to cut interest rates. That includes Canada, Bank of Europe, or the European Central Bank, I should say. And I believe the Netherlands actually cut as well, too. So we have multiple banks that did introduce rate cuts. But you have to understand that their economies are actually worse than ours, right? So a lot of folks are going to start saying that, oh, now it's time for us to the Fed to cut here, right? We're going to follow right in line. I don't think that that's necessarily going to be the case. Despite our unemployment taking back up to 4%, that is on Powell's watch for sure. But we still have rampant inflation, and that's the problem. And so I don't think that we're going to see a cut anytime soon. Are we going to get one this year? Well, yeah, the odds are still that we're going to get probably at least one, maybe two. But there's also a good chance that we don't get any. There really is. And especially if inflation is going to keep on rising and increasing at the pace that it is. So it's funny to watch them dance around because they want to tout the strong jobs numbers. But in reality, we know that our economy is not strong. It has actually gone into contraction on that Main Street economy. But meanwhile, our markets have been flying all-time high, right? Well, yesterday, our markets did get a little bit of a correction. We saw Bitcoin come back down to the 68,000 level, 68,300, and this was a quick move. So I hope you guys were ready. This is why I've been talking about staying liquid and having cash on the sidelines, is so that you can snipe deals like this one, a 3574 Ethereum, and XRP went all the way down to 45 cents briefly. Now, you got to have your finger on the trigger or your buy order already placed to be able to execute these trades because, like I said, it happens so quick, down to 9 cents for your XLM. Okay? Take a look at some of these others. XDC at 3 cents, 3.5 cents. Algorand went back down to what? 16.5. Yep. And what did Solana do? Solana went down here to 152. Yeah. So a really quick wick down. And then as far as the stock market, we did see that GameStop basically wiped out all of the gains. Roaring Kitty went live. It was pretty incredible to watch. He had like some 600,000 simultaneous viewers on his live show. It's pretty incredible to watch that. But the stock started to crash right as he was live streaming, and then they announced another release of shares or more shares that they were going to be dumping on the market. GameStop did. So that has led to the share price coming back down here to basically 26. Right now, it closed off the day at $28, but basically wiping out all of the gains that we had in anticipation of the Roaring Kitty live stream. Okay. And, it's just such an interesting dynamic to watch. Literally, all of our markets, CNBC, the largest hedge funds in the world, are literally setting algorithms and AI programmed in case Roaring Kitty said something, it triggers AI bots to sell or buy or make a move. Like, this is literally where we're at in this market. And so fascinating to watch, but let's check out where our gold and silver finished off the week at. Gold and silver both getting cleaned out at a pace that we haven't seen since 2020, actually. This candle right here. These are all daily charts, by the way, guys. So back below $2,300 per ounce for gold, like I was saying, I wanted to see us hold 2,300. Didn't necessarily mean we were going to, but a back test at 22 or 21 would be very common. The previous all-time high was still sub 2,100. Right, we triple tapped at that 2050 to 2080 mark. So a back test to this level is totally normal, right? After going into price discovery, it's totally normal. And breaking back down below $30 for silver once again. How long is the opportunity of sub 30 going to last, though? Right, we're kind of seeing a new floor established. And for silver, as long as we can hold basically that $25 mark, we'd still be in bullish posture. Yeah, so we're going to continue to watch that one, guys. The broader stock market, let's take a look at what we did. Dow Jones was down slightly on the day. NASDAQ 100, basically the same thing. In the S&P 500, just hanging out. Finished with a green candle, but basically didn't do anything. Yep. Okay. So that's where we're at in the broader markets. And this is what I'm going to be talking about in my Discord weekly call that I'm about to fire up here every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I go live with my Discord group. A chance to share a little bit more intimate details about my business decisions, my investments, how I see things, and a platform for me to talk where I don't have to worry about being censored. And so the opportunity to answer questions from our community. So getting ready to, and I'm going to be talking about this situation right now where we've already lost 461,000 jobs so far this year. When you look at the reports, the report that came out yesterday was a loss of 625,000 full-time jobs, while part-time rose by 286,000. So huge miss on jobs all this week too. It was a miss on all of the data points, on productivity, on all of our jobs. We had multiple jobs reports come out, right? All misses. And on the manufacturing index, big miss there too. So this economy is in contraction. We need to figure out a program and a plan, because if we sit here and we just start praying that, our investments are going to go up in price and take us there, although that might happen, and I firmly believe that our investments are going to go to a much higher price, in the meantime, we need to be able to survive what we're going through right now, which is an economic contraction for most. That doesn't have to be the story for you, your business, and your investments. Speaking of our investments, let's talk about my number one, and maybe it's your number one as well, XRP. Mr. Huber putting this into perspective for us. XRP market cap, orange, versus XRP price, blue. The growth difference shows the effective influence of Ripple's XRP sales on price performance. Since XRP began trading, the supply has grown, and Ripple has sold 30% more than it was able to create in demand. This is a very simplified way of looking at this, guys, but I think this is a good point. Considering the XRP demand that has grown through retail and other players, it can be assumed that Ripple has created about 50% more supply for XRP than it has been able to generate in demand with all of the partnerships. The chart also shows that the difference between supply and demand growth has risen significantly twice, after the SEC lawsuit, and interestingly, also after the victory that XRP is not a security, which proves more aggressive selling by Ripple, something I've been saying for a while, but always has been dismissed as FUD. Disappointing, but not dramatic. Well, we do have to be careful, right? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, Ripple's dumping on us. Okay, well, Ripple is not dumping on us. Have they sold more XRP? Yes, but where has that XRP been sold to? The demand is not coming from retail. The demand is coming from institutions that want to use XRP for ODL, which we've shown in the past, these institutions are not holding XRP. which is a big reason why these sells are not having too much of an impact, because it's a simultaneous sell by the XRP facilitating the on-demand liquidity, and it's basically back in Ripple's bag. And so you have to be careful, right? To simplify this and break it down to something this simple, I think, shows that there is a little bit more XRP out there than meets the current demand. And that's fine. Because as I said at the very beginning, we're not seeing everything behind the scenes. We're not seeing how many institutions are forming consortiums to work with Ripple and use XRP, just like we saw in Japan. See, I posted the video yesterday. I posted 3 updates yesterday. Hopefully you guys caught them all. We posted one on the stocks, posted one on Japan, and then I posted another update. So we dropped 3 videos yesterday. Busy day. But in regards to the Japan update, we went back and we looked at how in 2018, 80% of banks in Japan were already partnered up with Ripple looking to use XRP. That was back in 2018. Fast forward to 2024, we've had the likes of Yoshitaka Kitao from CEO of SBI saying every bank in Japan will use XRP and the XRP is going to go way past $10. So that's a bold statement, right, from an institution. And you don't hear that from any other institution. You don't even hear that from Brad Garlinghouse. Brad Garlinghouse isn't saying that XRP is going to go to $10. He's not saying that every bank in Japan is going to use it. But the point is that I'm trying to make here is that was a consortium, a group of banks in Japan, 80% of banks in Japan, that were deciding to partner up with Ripple to use XRP. If that were to be taking place here in the United States or Europe, you wouldn't see it because we haven't had regulations. Just like I posted in yesterday's update from Citigroup and Fidelity, the crypto white swan event. This was a direct quote from Fidelity. They're saying the white swan event, something that you can see coming, unlike a black swan, which you can't see, right? The white swan event that is coming for crypto is just regulations. It's not exciting. It's not dramatic. It's just laws are going to be passed. We're going to be able to flip the switch for institutions that want to use digital assets. That is coming. Then from Citigroup, they said the same thing. Hey, we're looking at this. We're playing with it. We got a sandbox. We can't use it until regulations get passed. And so this is the unseen demand that we will see. Maybe there is no demand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're crazy. Maybe there's no demand for XRP here in the United States of America. The conversation that I had with CEO of Uphold, Simon McLaughlin, leads me to believe that there is, because they're getting ready to fire up that on-demand liquidity corridor as we speak. So that would lead me to believe that there are some institutions in America that do want to use some XRP. And that's just for ODL. Now we're starting to get all these other utilities for XRP as well that will drive demand from the retail space. Now the demand from, and that's kind of the dynamics that we're playing with. The supply-demand ratio that I just showed you is from natural growth from retail, which is what Huber adds in this next tweet. Contrary to what Joel Katz says, natural growth is pretty much the worst possible investment thesis you could have for XRP. Anyone investing in XRP must believe in some kind of flip of the switch moment, because 10 years of supply and demand development show only one thing. Supply is growing faster than demand, and to be a good investment, this has to change soon for some reason. And that would come from the institutions that I'm talking about, right? The natural growth that we have right now in retail is not pushing price higher. That's just a fact. We have to accept that. And that doesn't mean that we're in a bad investment. That doesn't mean that our thesis is wrong. It just means that some things that are part of our thesis haven't played out yet, like regulations being passed, like more ETFs getting passed, and like the SEC versus Ripple case finally coming to a conclusion, and just maybe we're actually going to get Ripple's business model signed off on top of the fact that we know that XRP in and of itself is not a security. So the retail demand is not enough to drive XRP price higher. Will the institutional demand be enough to drive XRP price higher? I believe it definitely will. And the bet that we're making, and the guess and the speculation, is really just how far is that going to take us? Does that take us to $5, or does it take us to 589? And for that, I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments down below. Let me know, how big do you think that this institutional demand is? Why is there 1,700 investment contracts tied in this lawsuit that have been uncovered? Why are there so many NDAs? And in fact, we know from the case, there was actually a couple dozen institutions that have been buying XRP since the lawsuit has been going on. And many more probably that we don't even know of. So, it's very simple, guys. We don't have to overcomplicate it. Today's demand does not require price to go higher because we just don't have enough. But this is retail, and retail only has so much money, and retail has short attention span. And retail aren't investors. Retail are gamblers and speculators, speculating not on fundamentals, but speculating on the next hot thing, i.e., Iggy Azalea launching a coin and it's going to $200 million market cap. While Iggy Azalea is still able to dump on retail investors, we wait for the institutions to be able to come in and show us how business actually gets conducted using DLT technology. And I think that those who have the ability to see this out, to stay with conviction, will be rewarded handsomely. Is that $5? Is it $5.89? You guys let me know in the comments down below if you appreciate this update. Please make sure you like this video. Help me out by sharing it out far and wide so that we can maybe calm down the XRP community and we can understand that I still believe firmly that we're in the right place and that we have a whole lot of demand that's about to be unveiled. And the little snippets, the little glimpses that we've been able to see are pretty dang exciting. Has me pretty comfy in this investment at least. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. Everything's at my website, ZachRector.com. I'm heading on over to go do my Discord weekly call. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.